Welcome back to Ancient Egyptian Object Stories. In this episode, in honor of Valentine's Day, we will look at Egyptian art featuring couples and families. The first couples were, of course, the primeval gods who created the cosmos and established the foundations of Egyptian religion. They are known as the Ennead, 4 generations of 9 gods. The pairs are Shu and Tefnut, who were created by Atum, followed by Nut, the sky goddess, and Geb, the earth god, and the 4th generation included Osiris, Isis, Nephthys, and Seth. Osiris and Isis were one of the most important couples in ancient Egyptian religion. Osiris was believed to be the first king of Egypt and was killed by his jealous brother Seth, but Osiris's wife Isis brought him back to life and conceived the sun god Horus, who inherited the throne and became a symbol of kingship. Pair statues, or dyads, featuring a man and his wife, were common types of statues in ancient Egypt, stretching as far back as the 3rd dynasty. These statues followed a set decorum where the man was generally depicted on a larger scale than the woman. The wife may be only a little shorter than the man, or she can be represented as quite tiny. In art, the wife embraces the husband usually with one arm around his waist or leg and another hand placed on his arm. This occurs in royal art as well, as shown in this dyad example of 4th dynasty king Menkaure and his wife. In another example, Menkaure is standing beside the goddess Hathor, who, while on a larger scale than the king to emphasize her divinity and importance, supports the king the way a wife supports her husband in Egyptian art. This statue of Memi and Sabu dates to the Old Kingdom. As in most statues, Sabu is shown on a smaller scale than the male figure Memi, but as a rare example, the man embraces the woman with one arm slung over her shoulder and his hand resting on her breast. Interestingly, the text identifies them not as husband and wife, but as royal acquaintances. Oftentimes, children join the husband and wife in 3-dimensional and 2-dimensional art. Children are distinguished by their nudity, side lock of hair, and pressing their finger against their lips. They are always on a smaller scale than the father, but sometimes on the same scale as the mother. This may have been done to maintain symmetry, like in this triad statue of Nika-Ra and his wife and son. But also there are many exceptions to ancient Egyptian artistic decorum, and there was room for creativity. Art also depicts wives accompanying the husband in the afterlife, even if she had not yet died. In this funerary stela dating to the 11th dynasty, Senet Tech sits with her deceased husband, who is accepting 1,000 bread, beer, meat, and fowl offerings left by his living relatives. Tomb chapels were also decorated with images of the wife accompanying the husband in the afterlife. Here, the wife of Nebamun, dressed in a flowing linen gown, stands gracefully at the rear of his papyrus skiff as he hunts in the marshes. Their child is also shown, sitting between Nebamun's legs. The wife even accompanies her husband through the trials of the afterlife, as shown here in the judgment scene in the papyrus of Ani. The purpose of the wife accompanying the husband in the afterlife, and often being featured with him in funerary contexts, is that she is meant to mirror Isis's role in the resurrection of Osiris. With his wife, the deceased husband, after merging with Osiris, will be able to re-engender himself and be reborn. Interestingly, in women's tombs, like that of Queen Nefertari, the husbands do not appear. The woman, when she merges with Osiris, is able to re-engender herself because she will have become both the male and female. However, not all representations of marriage were funerary. Sometimes kings commemorated their marriages to their chief wife or foreign princesses. Amenhotep III commemorated his marriage to his chief wife Ti on a series of scarab figurines. The great royal king's wife Ti, may she live. Her father's name is Yuya, her mother's name is Tuya. She is the wife of a mighty king. His southern boundary extends toward Karoi, and the northern boundary toward Naharin. He also built a lake for her to enjoy tranquil boat rides. This is commemorated on another series of scarabs. Romance is also found in the so-called love poetry. Many of these poems were discovered at a site called Deir el-Medina on the west bank of modern-day Luxor. How well she knows to cast the noose, and yet not pay the cattle tax. She casts the noose on me with her hair. She captures me with her eye. She curbs me with her necklace. She brands me with her seal ring. This object story theme would not be complete without the most famous couple, Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Here they are depicted with their many daughters, all engaging with one another in a vivacious way. The Amarna period is characterized by naturalistic art and particularly by uncommon intimacy among the royal family. In this stela, which had been set up in a garden shrine at Amarna, Akhenaten is kissing one of the daughters, who gestures to her sister who is seated on Nefertiti's lap. A third daughter climbs on Nefertiti and plays with her jewelry. Other stelae feature Nefertiti sitting on Akhenaten's lap. It is easy to romanticize Amarna art, but there may also be religious significance. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will join me again for my next ancient Egyptian object story.